to the Oversight Global's The Energy of Gratitude series, where all month long we are deep diving into the practice of gratitude, a super quick, super easy, yet highly beneficial tool that you can use for positivity and success. My name is Angelie Kapoor. I will be your series host. I'm also the founder of Oversight Global. We are an organization that addresses the consciousness crisis in the world by advocating for awareness and consciousness. We strive to educate and empower individuals and businesses to be aware of and strive to fulfill their fullest potential and uniquely contribute to the world. Today, I am excited to welcome our guest, Regina Bergman. She is an international best-selling author, speaker, profit acceleration, and exit strategy specialist. She is the CEO of Bridgeport Strategy, the host of Pursuing Profit with Principles podcast, and LinkedIn Live collaboration conversations, which helps transform businesses, both online and offline, and local economies while helping entrepreneurs realize their vision of impacting lives and changing the world. Her signature program, Go Beyond Six Figures, helps business owners create six figures and above in net profits. Regina understands the challenges faced by small business owners after building a business to $4+ million in annual revenue, only to see it crash with the 2008-2009 economic downturn. One of Regina's superpowers is helping entrepreneurs overcome the overwhelm and fear that keeps them from stepping up and making a difference. She's also passionate about helping families. She knows the stress that entrepreneurs are under who are struggling in their business. Her personal motto is save a business, save a marriage. Regina, thank you so much for being here. So excited to have you.
Oh, thank you so much, Angelie, and thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Of course. So let's go ahead and dive right into talking about gratitude. So can you tell us, what does gratitude mean to you?
Oh my. Gratitude is a really important topic for me, and it has had a powerful impact in my life. When it got me through the toughest time of my life. Yeah, very important. I think if we're not willing to express our gratitude for the many daily blessings that we have, whether you believe in a higher power or not, I do. I believe in a Heavenly Father, loving Heavenly Father who blesses us tremendously. But we don't always stop and look at the blessings we have in our lives, both small and large, and give thanks for those, give appreciation for those. So yeah, it's extremely important in my life.
No, I definitely agree with you there. It just takes us, taking a minute to pause really and just realize the blessings that we have and be thankful for them. So can you tell us how, gratitude specifically has affected you in your life?
Yeah. So I keep a gratitude journal now. And I've kept a journal off and on since I was about 30, a few years. Not as consistently. I can't say I've written in it every day, and I'll go through periods of highs and lows of keeping it. But one of the things that I do like to do is to express gratitude in the journal, and that has always been a factor in my journal writing because I always feel like I get inspiration while I'm writing in my journal, and so then it's an easy thing to express that gratitude. But in 2014, my husband of 44 years passed away, and I wasn't feeling very grateful.
I can imagine.
But I was challenged for a church project to keep a gratitude journal every day for 30 days to write what I was grateful for. And it couldn't be the platitudes, it couldn't just be the same thing every day. It needed to be reflective of that day. I accepted the challenge, reluctantly, but I accepted the challenge. And I went home and I thought, okay, how am I going to do this? All right, I'm going to write 10 things every day that I'm grateful for today. Well, it didn't take but a day or two to realize that was not even possible. So I said, okay, I'll cut back to 5. So 5 things every day that I'm grateful for. And in the beginning, it was really hard. And it could be as simple as someone smiled at you today,
Yeah.
or even I smiled today.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I was still in this is only a month or two after my husband passed.
Mm.
So it was early in my grief period. I was still in the widow's fog. Things were really difficult, emotionally and mentally during that period of time. And so when I started off writing those 5 things, sometimes it'd only be 1 or 2 words,
Right.
smile, something like that.
Mm.
And then as time went on over the next few days, that gratitude began to flow more. The communication began to flow more. And those 1 or 2 words would turn into phrases.
Oh,
I was
wow.
able to write a little more for each.
Hmm.
And then those phrases turned into sentences. And the sentences turned into paragraphs. And that
Nice.
turned into whole pages. So
Oh,
pretty soon I
wow.
was writing multiple pages every night in my journal
Wow.
of my 5 topics, because I could write so much on them.
Hmm.
And I attribute that exercise to getting me through that widow's fog faster.
Yeah.
As I was able to express gratitude, then I believe my thinking became clearer. The fog began to lift faster.
Hmm.
So it was transformational. Keeping that gratitude journal and expressing my gratitude daily was transformational in getting through that grief. So
Right.
yeah, it's had a powerful impact in my life.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I think you made some great points that, are very beneficial to the people watching and listening that, first of all, gratitude, it's, easy to do, but it's not always easy to start, like you
Yes.
illustrated,
Yeah.
especially if you're going through a challenge. Like you were saying, the last thing that you want to do is look at the good. It's really hard to see it when you're in the midst of a
Yes.
storm.
Could I share one
Yeah.
more? Could I
Of
share one
course.
more thing with you on that? So last year at Thanksgiving, my husband and I decided that we wanted to do something around gratitude. So
Mhm.
we said, okay, let's make a list of, and I can't remember what the number was that we had originally said, maybe 50 or 100 things, something that we were grateful for.
Yeah.
And we kept the list on the dining room table, and we would just stop and write things on it. And I
Mm.
think it was like a couple of 100 items on there when we finally stopped writing. And we would
Wow.
just, it was just words or phrases, not a big paragraph or anything, but just jotting down something that we were grateful for. And that was a really cool experience to do as a family, to do as a
Yeah.
couple,
Yeah.
to to express our gratitude that way. And I think one of the things it did was help us to realize more of the things that we were grateful for with that partner. See, I remarried in 2016. That's an important part they probably need to know. I'm talking to my husband and I said I'm a widow. So I was widowed in 2014 and I remarried in 2016 to a widower. So we both understand what that journey is.
Mhm.
But yeah, that I think it gave us a greater appreciation of each other
Yeah.
when we did that together.
Mhm.
And a lot of the things that we wrote were things that we were grateful for in that partner, things that they do or things that they say. And so it was a really powerful experience also.
Yeah, no, that's really cool that, and I'm glad you mentioned that, it doesn't just have to be a solo kind of silent internal practice. You can
Yeah,
definitely, grab a friend or your partner or your
yeah,
kids and do the same thing. And,
yeah,
it's amazing at like you were saying, the list that you can create, but at the same time, you're all kind of growing together. So that's really awesome.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that. So, how do you feel gratitude should be regarded in the world? Kind of especially considering this pandemic that we've all been through together worldwide, and kind of taking it from just one person to kind of more people and groups of people. What are your thoughts on that?
Good question. And relative to the pandemic, we all know that there were horrific things that happened, many lives lost, millions of lives lost. We know there were terrible, terrible things, but we all also know, if we stop and think about it, that there were good things that happened during the pandemic as well.
Right. Hmm.
Maybe you drew closer to family members. There were we know that, in the world, technology took a huge leap,
Yeah.
um, which benefits all mankind.
Mhm.
The world opened up in terms of, I have clients and associates around the world. I got to
Right.
speak at a women's conference in Nigeria, okay, on Zoom.
Right. Right. Exactly.
You know, I mean, that would never have happened before. So I think it has made us a global society in a lot of ways. A lot of the things that the acceleration of being a global society, I'll say it that way. And there's some things I like about that and some I don't. Okay. I'm not saying that it's a panacea. But I do like that we're able to create relationships around the world. So I'm grateful for that. And just amazing people that I've been able to meet that I wouldn't have been able to before. But I think if we were all more aware of and expressive of gratitude for the differences, or, the things we see in others, I think we'd be less quick to judge others, to go to war, to have all of the strife and some of the horrible things that go on in our world.
Right.
I think if we had more gratitude, each of us individually, it would impact our behavior. We would be more compassionate to others, less judgmental, more compassionate, more understanding, and seeking to understand them. One of the things that I endeavor to do is to see people through Heavenly Father's eyes, or through Christ's eyes, instead of seeing them through my eyes. And then that allows me again to be more compassionate with them. So yeah, it's kind of all intertwined for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you as well. And you mentioned one of my favorite kind of mottos that I practice as well is, seek first to understand before seeking to be understood. And I think that's really important. It really takes a different perspective on how to behave and how to interact with others. And so, that's a concept that I definitely found very useful and continue to find useful. So thank you so much for all of this insight and sharing your experience with us. So we want to know more about you and your business.
Awesome. I have been, I think in business my whole life. There have been some times I've worked for other people, but I've also had my own businesses a lot through life. And I think I've been an entrepreneur since I was a child. One of these days I'll retire, but at the moment I still really enjoy what I'm doing. So my primary business at this point is that I am a business coach specializing, as you mentioned earlier, in profit acceleration and exit strategy. One of the things that is very concerning today is that so many people go out and build a business. They're looking for this business to be the support for the rest of their life or their family when they're gone. The challenge is they didn't build the business properly, so it doesn't have any value to anyone else. So if they die tomorrow, they've left no legacy, no financial legacy for their family. If they want to sell it tomorrow, they don't have anything to sell. Business brokers turn away 95% of the phone calls that come into them because the people don't have a business to sell.
Yeah.
And we know there's such a high failure rate of 90+% of failure of small businesses that fail. And yet we also know that small businesses are the backbone of our country.
Yes.
And literally in so many ways. And so anything we can do to save those businesses and help them be more profitable is really important to me. And you mentioned my motto: save a business, save a marriage.
Right.
Marriage and family is extremely important to me. I don't know if you can see it over my shoulder there, but the book closest to me is my first book. It was an international bestseller, and it's called Bulletproof Your Marriage. And so it's, I know that when that business owner, male or female, when they are stressed over the finances of their business, primarily finances is what stresses us out, right? When they're stressed over that, it impacts their relationships at home with their spouse, with their children. Well, when children see a relationship that's not working, they go out and create a relationship that doesn't work when they leave home and get married.
Right.
And so oftentimes we just perpetuate that process.
Mm-hmm.
If they can create that successful marriage, that successful relationship, and then their children are part of a happy, successful home life,
Mm-hmm.
now they know what that looks like. They can go out and recreate that instead of the relationship that doesn't work. So it's really a two-pronged approach for me. I really want to save those businesses, to see them be able to sell that business, to create that legacy, even if they don't want to sell it, if they just want to be able to step away from it, have somebody else run it.
Right.
It has to be built properly in order to do that. There's a foundation that needs to be in place, just like building a home, right? You wouldn't want to buy a home that doesn't have a proper foundation.
Right.
You don't want to buy a business that doesn't have a proper foundation, or a business that relies on the business owner to be in that business. Same as you wouldn't buy a home and keep the homeowner in the home.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You want them to move out, go on, leave. So it's that same kind of principle. And so there are foundational steps that you can do to build your business so it has value. And you can hire someone to run it, or you can sell the business, but you create that financial legacy that many of us are attempting to create, but not achieving, because we just don't know what we don't know about building a successful business.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so glad that you've taken that on. I mean, I like your approach of approaching it holistically. So, not just helping people with their businesses, but kind of realizing that extends into family and extends into, leaving a legacy for future generations. So that's awesome. So can you tell our viewers how they can connect and follow you?
Sure. So I'm on LinkedIn as Regina Bergman. I'm on Facebook also, and I have a business page on Facebook that is Bridgeport Strategy, the name of my company. And there's also a Bridgeport Strategy page on LinkedIn as well. You can also, let's see, how do we want? Regina at bridgeportstrategy.com. You can send me an email there. And I'd love to hear from anyone.
Sounds great. Yeah, we'll go ahead and include all of those links in the video description below. Awesome. So before we close, any final thoughts, key takeaways for our viewers today?
There's the old expression, stop and smell the roses. Gratitude's a bit like that. Stop and think, what happened in my life today that I'm grateful for? Start a journal. Just, I buy those little composition books at the dollar store.
Yeah, me too.
I do my journals in those, and keep a journal of things that have happened in your day, things that you're grateful for in your life. We've got Thanksgiving coming up here.
Yes.
Great time to really stop and reflect and start some new habits around gratitude, such as keeping a journal, doing something like we did last year. I'm sure we'll do that again this year, of that list of what we're grateful for. And it's kind of fun to see what others in your family are grateful for.
Yeah, definitely.
And it makes you feel so warm inside when one of those things is you, that they're grateful for, or something you did, or something you said. And we don't share that enough with each other.
Right.
So appreciate your family, be grateful for them, let them know you're grateful for them. And then reflect on your own life. What am I grateful for? Make it a daily practice, daily habit.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Regina, for that. And thank you for, again, sharing your experience and your insights in your knowledge. I mean, I've, taken away some things today, and I'm sure our viewers have as well. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you, audience, for being here and for watching. Be sure to check out our other episodes of the Energy of Gratitude series. If you're getting as much out of it as I am, be sure to share, let your friends, family, and others know, and be sure to subscribe below if you haven't already to get notified of future episodes and videos on our channel. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.